Today, from the island of Šolta, we explore an old wooden shipwreck. I then explore the island's underground tunnel network, where I try to figure out who originally built them. And plus I'm weird and love going into fucking abandoned tunnels. Then a bit of history from the Second World War. We visit the cove where two Commando landed in March of 1944, and trace their steps up to the village of Grahote, where the German garrison was stationed. Join us on this adventure to a lesser-known Croatian island. In we go. Probably, just a machine gun nest. Let's see. Sleeping or maybe even ammunition storage. Take a look up there. Nice tetanus ladder. So the machine gun nest overlooking the, well, there may be a tunnel system. Past this little machine gun nest, I do believe there is a tunnel system here, but I was not expecting. The ladder might be out of commission though. Maybe not. Maybe you can get in from the other side. We'll go check. Let's go see if we can figure out how to get down to the gun platforms below us. Yeah, so Italian built. Now this steel dome or cupola is actually Italian built and taken from one of the bunkers in Zadar, possibly even one from one of my past explorations. But these tunnels themselves were actually built by the JNA, or the Yugoslav National Army. Here's the outside of the machine gun nest. Here's one of the gun platforms where an 80mm Czech M28 once was mounted. There's 4 of these. There's the other entrance. The gun is long since gone, but pretty big mount here. You can see over here facing Italy. Let's go see what we can find down here. Door frame is still there. And I believe this is the bottom of where I was just looking with the other. I apologize for the somewhat shitty light today, guys, but I didn't expect there to be a tunnel system down there. So let's see. Interesting. No, I think this is that broken ladder. Somebody busted their shit. Yeah, so this was that broken ladder. Let's head down. This probably leads to the other gun positions. Oh, this is pretty interesting, actually. Nice. I wasn't expecting there to be a tunnel system. And this looks a lot more recent than the Second World War. They probably, the JNA was using this as well. This might have been the barracks room. Okay, so we got crossroad here. We'll head out there in a second. Let's see where this is one of the lower gun positions. Oh, this is reasonably extensive. I was not expecting this. It's always cool when you find something you weren't expecting. So yeah, I'm not sure if there was actual fighting at these positions, but the Italians were on this island first, and then when they capitulated in '43, the Germans took over for them. They took over these guns, and then there was 2 separate commando raids and 1 partisan raid on the island. So, as far as I know, this is the only gun position where there was actual artillery coastal guns. And yeah, it leads us right down to the beach. Nice. And a nice place to swim with the crystal clear blue waters. So here had to be where they could escape, resupply, you know, in a mostly hidden cove here. Idiot adventures. Join me, guys. This one's actually a bit more complex than what I'm used to. I don't think we've gone down this way yet. Hopefully it doesn't turn into Silent Hill and then, you know, you find yourself in the same corridor over and over again. Hey! I'm unarmed other than my... Oh, do you guys see that white lizard? That was pretty cool looking. He went back in there. Oh, here, cool. We got an intact door. Check that out. You got yourself a tetanus special. That thing's not gonna budge, but you can get an idea. This place was pretty secure at one time. Oh, there he is. There's another one of them. This is crazy. Look at that gecko. He's like a pale gecko. I'm not gonna bother you, buddy. See the way he jumped? Look at this stuff. So here's the third gun position. Nice. I knew there were gun positions here, but I was not expecting there to be a tunnel system connecting them, so bonus tunnels. Check that out, that's gotta be original. I wonder what, it almost looks like an old shield, but it's got to be maybe a door for this. Something to do with the gun. Didn't even notice this door as we were passing by. Once again, I am in my extreme exploring shoes, but you know, in my defense, I was not prepared for a tunnel system down here. This is the last gun position, I believe. Barracks room or ammunition storage room, but some kind of storage room. I feel like you're in a low-budget horror game. Choo 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 choo. Not too extensive, but a lot more than I was expecting. Pretty crazy though, huh? I believe This is our last gun position. Don't think there are any guns left. Yeah, I don't think there's a gun underneath there. Someone did their gardening in this one. Anyways, we'll also show you guys the village of Grahote and see what else we can discover. I think there's a shipwreck also, but it doesn't have anything to do with the Second World War, but it'd be cool to see, yeah. So I believe they hung gas lamps off of these. This is old stuff. Pretty good shape. These lamps, oh shit, that freaked me out. Pew, 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 pew. But these lamps look Yugoslav. And these should take me out. Or I'll find myself in a silent hill though, but then you guys probably want to be watching this video. As usual, guys, thank you for watching. You know, I appreciate you. Do the typical YouTube stuff for me, you know. Send me a like, subscribe, of course. The likes really help me out too. So if you enjoy this type of stuff like I do, you know, stick with me, guys. I do it pretty often. Daylight. Bang my head there for good luck. Now across this little cove here is a shipwreck. I'm ready to go. I mean, I see why they marketed it as a pirate ship, because it looks like one of those old wooden tourist boats. But it's pretty cool. Now, it was here on midnight of March 19th, 1944, that two Commando landed in this cove. Then they made their way up here under the command of Mad Jack Churchill himself. I suggest Googling him. I'll speak more about him in a second. But they made it up through this path towards the village of Grahote, where there was a German garrison of about 110 troops. Now, with relatively light fighting, they killed about 6 Germans and lost 1 of their own. Now, the thing is, when it came to engaging the British in 1944, the average German soldier was quite willing to surrender, knowing that if they surrendered to the partisans, they would 100% be killed. Now, another thing that's interesting is 2 Commando, during their operations in the Adriatic, actually took to Hollywood-style piracy, boarding German shipping vessels whenever they saw them, riding up with small
small boats and then jumping onto the boats themselves. It's something straight out of a movie. This is just a beautiful cove today, and just a bit of its history. Now, the partisans were based on Viz. You can't see the island from here, but there's a few kilometers across the sea. So they staged multiple raids on this island, one of which was a spectacular failure. After the German garrison that surrendered in March, which basically got a free pass out of the war, the Germans still occupied the mainland. So they reinforced the island from Split. The partisans launched their own attack in May to try and retake the island once again. But they were beaten back pretty badly and forced to retreat on a boat. When that boat was retreating, it was also sank, so they almost got wiped out completely. But like I said, the Germans were not willing to surrender to partisan forces. When they knew it was the British, they were more than willing to, because they knew they would more than likely survive the war. This is a nice beach though. In February, there was a small unit, reconnaissance, which was actually my job in the army, to the island to scout out the garrison in Grahote. That was also a failure. They ran into a German patrol, and under the command of Captain Jenkins, which was KIA, a German-speaking commando from 2 Commando, Bob Schlom, was wounded. Now, unfortunately, Bob Schlom, along with so many others, was killed 1 month before the war ended in Italy. Now, Jack Churchill, commander of 2 Commando, or Mad Jack himself, was actually captured on the next door island of Brach. Him and 5 of his commandos, so 6 in total, went to assault a German fortified position on top of a mountain in Brach. Don't know which exactly mountain, but I do plan on maybe figuring that out and going there in the future. Basically, he went up there with his classic bagpipes and sword, and his 5 compatriots were killed by a mortar round. The partisans that were supposed to take place in that operation refused to assault the hill. When Jack was knocked out, eventually, unconscious by grenades, he was then captured, sent to a concentration camp in Germany, where he escaped and made it all the way within 1 kilometer of the Baltic coast before being recaptured. Eventually, soon the war was to end, and Jack made his way from another concentration camp down through Italy with a broken heel, or nearly broken, I'm not sure exactly which, where he finally encountered an American patrol and said that the only thing he regretted was not having his bagpipes. Titans of history, walking in their literal footsteps almost. Well, we were driving towards Grahote. I don't think that the Commandos had a Reno. What do you think? Hello. This used to be probably an old state house. Back in the day, some rich person owned this one. It's kind of creepy. Roof is long since collapsed. That TV is probably from the 60s. But still cool to look at. Yeah, a lot of the old houses, they don't have internal stairs, usually to get to the other floor. There's like a staircase on the outside like this. This is a pretty cool little town. Old well, old house. Oh, cool. Old grinding mill. Yeah, so it would just go back and forth in this. That's a few hundred years old. Oh yeah, and they would smash, I think it was olive oil on this, and then they would flow down into this. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's cool how this is set up. Thing is locked. Oh, the key's still in there. Yeah, I don't want to break it. Some type of old residential building. Yeah, check that out. Treasure chest. Guys, thanks so much for joining us on that little island adventure. And I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit of World War II history. As always, you know, I appreciate you guys' time because you gave it to us and you didn't have to. Do me a favor and, of course, do the typical YouTube stuff and like and subscribe. That really helps me out. And join us on the next one. Until then, vidimo se. That's good.